Fellow whiskey lovers, this is the time of year when every YouTuber talks about their top whiskey of the year. You may have seen I recently did my top 5 whiskeys of 2023, and I also did my top 5 rare whiskeys of 2023. Today, I'm going to tell you about Wade's top 5 worst whiskeys of 2023. This one's going to be fun and may upset a few people. Let's go! Alright guys, if you've seen any of my videos, you know that I'm very much a positive and optimistic kind of person and a whiskey lover in the purest sense of the words. I debated whether or not to do this video because obviously this kind of has a negative connotation to it, negative context. But I thought, we often celebrate the good whiskeys. Why not talk about the ones that weren't so good? So let's get stuck in with today's WTF, Wade's top 5 worst whiskeys of 2023. Number 5 on today's list is one that I almost feel I have a personal vendetta against. This is the M&H Milk and Honey Elements Sherry Cask that won the best whiskey in, I think it was the World Whiskey Awards this year, best single malt in the world. I'm calling it out, guys. Like, I tried this whiskey and it's rubbish. It's rubbish whiskey. It's not even close to the best in the world. Not even close. And we know that these awards are, often paid for, or, they're not as authentic as you would like them to be. Anyone who knows good whiskey and has tried good whiskey and tries this know that this is a very average and lackluster whiskey. The reason it's on the list is almost me venting a little because it's absurd that this whiskey won the award. It shouldn't have even got anything. It's mediocre. It's bland. It's just boring, simple whiskey. Don't buy into the hype. The M&H Elements Sherry Cask that won best single malt in the world, it's rubbish. Okay, number 4 on my list of Wade's top 5 worst whiskeys of 2023, and this one is the Amrut Intermediate Sherry. I liked their fusion expression and I tried this intermediate sherry. It tasted like dirty bath water. It tasted like tainted water that had sat in a cup on the side of a bench for a week. It was stagnant. It was weird. It tasted dirty. That's the only way I can explain it. I was shocked by this one. I expected to like it more considering that I enjoyed the fusion and I'm a fan of sherried whiskey. Maybe it was a bad batch. I don't know, but it's the first time I've tried a whiskey that tasted like dirty bath water. So yeah, that's probably about all I really need to tell you to get a sense of what I thought of that whiskey. Number 3 on my list today, probably a surprising one, and that is the Tamdhu Distinction Quercus Alba. I love Tamdhu, and I was sent a bottle of this expression, and it was very intense. Spirit forward, bitey and oak, so it wasn't the traditional European oak or the sherried expressions you get from Tamdhu, so it's a different version of Tamdhu. The first pours had me worried. It was just too bitey and sharp and bitter, and I expected to open up over time in the bottle, and it improved a little bit. It's not a bad whiskey per se, but it didn't hit the mark, and because of my love and affinity for Tamdhu, this one was my least favorite of the Tamdhu expressions that I've tried. Number 2 on my list today is probably going to surprise a few people, and of all the ones I'm going to list today would most likely get the most disagreement that this should be on the list, but I need to call it out. The Lockley Sowing Edition First Crop, terrible whiskey. I wanted to like this so bad because, as you all know, I'm a Laphroaig fanboy. John Campbell was the master distiller at Laphroaig for a very long time. I think at Laphroaig for almost 30 years in various functions and roles. So I bought in. I was all about it, excited to try. Now, admittedly, these are transition whiskeys, the expressions that are building towards what will be the offering, what will be the core offering from Lockley. So I'm aware that they're young whiskeys, but in my opinion, I may as well have drank a glass of methylated spirits. It was just like, it tasted like cleaning alcohol. Terrible. No flavor, all bite, all spirit, just new make. I hated it. Yeah, do not rate it. I'm open to seeing what Lockley produces in the future, and I tried a couple of expressions from Lockley, disliked all of them, but this one I disliked the most, hence the reason it's on the list today. Make of that what you will. Don't rate it at all. Didn't like it, not a fan. Okay, so we've reached the #1 spot on my list today, Wade's top 5 worst whiskeys of 2023. This one I wanted to like. I thought it would be something more than it is. Unfortunately, it wasn't. And that is the Macallan Classic Cut 2021. It's a cask strength. So I thought that it was going to give me more of what Macallan has to offer outside of the normal sort of core expressions at that 40% ABV. So I thought, well, outside of an independent bottling of Macallan, I thought, let's try this one and see if Macallan, with a bumped up ABV, I think it was 51% ABV in that range. Now, I'll preface this by saying I've tried the core lineup Macallans, I've tried some of the rare cask Macallans, I've tried a few independent bottlings of Macallan, and there are exceptional Macallans out there. I think almost everyone is aware of that. There are some garbage Macallans that are being flogged as luxury product, low quality stuff they can put out and market as something special off the reputation Macallan has had in the past. And then on the other end of the spectrum, there are Macallans that will make you fall in love all over again with whiskey and understand what it's all about and why they have that reputation. This one is I believe it's a bourbon cask finish, so no sherry cask on this. It's got nothing going for it. The finish is the shortest finish I've ever had on a whiskey. Even at 51%, there was no intensity, there's no bite to it, there's no vibrance, the texture tasted like it was less than 51%. I was disappointed. What can I say, There's a reason it's #1 on the list. It's a whiskey. I almost feel dirty doing this one today. I didn't want this one to come across as a bit of a rant. Obviously, I'm saying the whiskeys that weren't good. Let me know, guys, if this one, hit the mark, missed the mark, if you like that I'm, being truthful about the whiskeys that disappointed me, that just missed the mark, or if you prefer that I don't do these kind of ones, let me know and I'll go back to talking about good whiskey again. Keen for feedback, keen for thoughts. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Maybe tell me in the comments, what are some of the whiskeys that you hated this year? What were the terrible whiskeys that you had? Because they can't all be good ones, right? The upside, I think, is that when you have a benchmark of a terrible whiskey, it makes you appreciate those great ones so much more, doesn't it? All right, that's it for my lists of the top 5 whiskeys of 2023. I hope that you've enjoyed all 3 of them that I've done. If you haven't checked out the first couple, go back and watch those. Make sure that you click down here, subscribe, click super thanks, be part of the community. Please leave a comment, like the video, and share it if you have other whiskey lovers in your life. Thank you very much for being a part of this. I wish you a wonderful festive season with your friends and loved ones, and may the whiskeys that end up in your glass this time of year be better than the ones that are on this list today. All right, guys, my name is Wade. Catch you soon.